Hi everyone. So, what types of relationship classifies as an affair? That is a question that I'm going to be answering in this video today. And if you are new here, welcome. Hi. If you're returning, I'm glad you have decided to join me again. My name is Stacey and I'm an infidelity coach. I specialize in helping people who were unfaithful. I help them get their life back. I help them learn how to get their affair partner out of their head so they can move on with their life, and I help show them how to prevent relapse and how they can grow from infidelity, and it can actually become a wonderful opportunity for them to become the person that they always wanted to be and fulfill their purpose that God has for them. So, if you are interested in working with me one-on-one, or if you are stuck and you just can't seem to get out of that cycle of, breaking up and getting back together, I would love to chat with you. I'll leave all the information in the description box below where you can set up a free one-on-one chat with me, and we can set up a plan and discuss how I can help you end your affair and stay free. Okay, so in this video, please stick around. I know there are many different types of affairs, but one, I have discovered that I don't hear that's talked about a lot, and that might be just because I really don't know why that is actually. But for me, I'm going to discuss it, and it's the secret world of your heart. I want to talk about that because I experienced it, so I feel that it is very important that we address that. And I do label it as a type of affair, and I will get into that later about why. So let's just get through some of the basics. This is kind of just infidelity 101, just teaching you about, my point of view about the different types of affairs. So for number one, there's the one night stand. That's the one where you have this opportunity. You might be traveling for work, and you have some drinks with a coworker, and one thing leads to another. With that one, you can definitely see that there's no boundaries. We don't always think to put boundaries in place because, sometimes we think, well, nothing's going to happen. I'm just going to go out to lunch with this coworker who's the opposite sex, and yeah, they're attractive, but I'm good, that type of thing. So it just kind of, it's not, I don't want to say it just happens, because we do make choices, but it's not, love is not involved. I just want to say that. And it's a one night stand. It happens one time and it doesn't keep on happening. So number two is a revenge affair. And this one kind of plays off of maybe number one, or, just long-term affairs. But a revenge affair is when the betrayed spouse finds out that their partner cheated on them and they are very hurt by it. So they go out and have a one-night stand, or they go out and have an affair in hopes that their partner will feel the pain that they are currently experiencing. I've seen this happen. Now it really just breeds more pain between both of them. I'm not a fan of it, of course, but it does happen, and it can be a one-night stand. A revenge affair can be just a one-time thing. I'm just going to go out and just get you back, or it can become a long-term affair also. So I've seen that happen as well. Number three is an emotional affair, and this is where I believe we fall in love with this person. We become completely attached to them. The emotional connection's there. We feel like they're our person, our soulmate, our twin flame, just our better half. It's like, oh my God, I finally found the one my soul has been searching for. So we are completely invested in them emotionally, but there is no sex going on. There's no physical contact, and that could be because you guys live in a different state or something like that, but you have that ongoing communication. You tell each other you love each other. You may do some sexting, send some nude videos or photos or something, but you can definitely see in that type of relationship that it is more than, hey, we're just friends, we have completely crossed the line. So I would definitely classify that as an affair if you are telling someone that you love them, that you miss them, that they're your soulmate, all of those things. I would definitely say that is infidelity. If you are married and you don't have to have sex, is my point, to be in an affair. If you are married and you emotionally connect with someone else of the opposite sex to the point where you're telling them, I love you, I miss you, I need you, and you're pouring your heart out to them, then you have crossed the line into having an emotional affair. Because in marriage, marriage is sacred, and there are things that you share with your husband that you really shouldn't share with someone else, and your emotional needs should be met from your spouse and not someone else. And I get that, when someone does have an affair, it's because that's how they choose to respond to the lack that they're feeling in their marriage. So I understand that, because that was one of my reasons why I just didn't feel connected. It's not an excuse, but it was something I was feeling at the time. So, but it did lead into infidelity, is what I'm saying. So we have to be careful with that when we have friends of the opposite sex, that type of thing. Which leads me to number 3, I think I'm on, or number 4. Anyways, okay, the next one. The next one is something I got a question about, was romantic friendships. Now, I'm going to give you my opinion and how my husband and I, we conduct our life, but you have to do what is best for you. If what I'm about to say does not resonate with you, or you're like, no, I just don't agree with that, that's fine. This is just how we feel and how I feel personally, because I have experienced infidelity twice in my life. One was with a really close friend who we were just friends for 4 years and never thought anything else of it. And the second one was, we really wasn't friends. It just escalated really quickly. So I'm extremely cautious. Let me just put it out there about how I handle my friendships. So the definition of a romantic friendship, it refers to a very close but non-sexual relationship between friends. It often involves physical closeness, holding hands, cuddling, that type of thing, sharing intimate details with each other. And again, for me, this makes me very uncomfortable, because I think, okay, if my husband had a female friend and they were holding hands or cuddling or something like that, I would not like that. And I know he would not like it either. It feels very disrespectful. So in my opinion, I don't really believe that there's a thing as a romantic friendship. I believe that if there is some kind of romantic feeling being stirred up, then that can open the door for a full-blown affair. Now, you may have this type of relationship with a friend of yours, I don't know, and it's fine, and that's great. But for me, who sides on the side of caution, I always recommend, I wouldn't do that. I really set up boundaries around a friend who's the opposite, sex, where I wouldn't share personal things, because it's just so easy, in my opinion, for men and women to fall in love, or for one of them to have feelings for the other one. And personally, I don't want to have another guy in my life that I'm cuddling with or I'm holding hands with other than my husband. I just don't want to do that. So I feel like it might be infidelity in disguise, or the beginning of an affair in disguise, under just the term of romantic friendship. So if you're gonna having a friend that is a male, like the opposite sex, or a female that's opposite sex, like for instance my first affair partner, we have been friends for 4 years, nothing had ever crossed the line, and we were good friends. We talked, we laughed, we all hung out together and stuff, but we did find each other attracted. We were attracted to each other, but once that, oh my gosh, let me give you a hug, or come here, let me console you, once those things really started happening, it really starts to stir up that chemical response inside of you. At least it did for me, and I know it did for him. You know, the attraction starts to deepen, and then, you know, lines get crossed, and it's just blurry, and it's a mess. So for me and my husband, we just avoid situations like that altogether. And I'm not a fan of that term romantic friendship. If you see that, I would beware. Or if you heard of that, I would really ask myself, do I want my spouse engaging in cuddling or holding hands or, you know, sharing of intimate stories with someone other than me? Am I okay with that? So that's how I would handle that situation. Now, the next one I want to talk about is, you know, it's common, it's a physical affair. And, you know, for that one, you know, for me, it's like, okay, well, the emotional affair, the emotional side of it has escalated to physical. So if I give you my example from my affair, it didn't start out physical, you know, we didn't just automatically jump into bed together, but we did start out, okay, let's be friends, let's talk. Then, you know, here comes the, oh my gosh, my life is terrible, how can, you know, let me comfort you, that type of thing. So we started that emotional connection, and then it eventually turned into a physical affair, and that is where sex is involved. That is where, you know, you need to have sex, and the relationship is just a full-blown relationship, just like any other couple would be, where there's, you know, sharing each other's stories, you know, laughing, cutting up, and having sex. It just turns into a relationship, emotional and physical. So that is, you know, some of the main types of affairs that I have seen. I know that there are others. You know, I know, for instance, they're sex addicts, and they, you know, they have an impulse, which is another one. They have impulses and thoughts and stuff that they have a hard time controlling. So they feel the need to satisfy that with sex. You know, they have to go out and have sex. You know, and for me, I guess I wonder, you know, if that's just another way to escape some kind of pain that they're feeling, and they just project it onto sex. So, but that's just my thoughts on it. But that is also something that is out there. It's not I mean, it's a well-known term, but it's not like a diagnosis. It's just that there are people who have compulsive desires to go out and have sex and have, you know, that normal desire fulfilled all the time. So the last one, this one was something I learned, and it's the secret world of the heart. So I'm going to give you a Bible verse in Matthew 5:27 through 30. Jesus said, if you look at a woman with lust in your heart, you've already committed adultery with her. So when my affair ended, I let him go physically, okay, you know, so physically he was gone, it was over, but mentally he stayed with me because I kept him with me. I kept him in my heart, and I would fantasize, and I would remember stuff, and when I was upset, I would go back into the time where I felt happy with him, and he became, you know, just a comfort, and the memories became a comfort, the fantasies, you know, it was just, I felt like, if I can't have him in the physical world, then I can have him in my mind. I can keep him locked up in my heart. Well, one day during my recovery, you know, I was reading the Bible, and I came across this scripture, and I felt really convicted about it because the secret world of my heart was not clean. And what I mean by that is I wasn't performing in integrity. So outside of my fantasy world, with my husband, I love you, we're having a good time, we're growing, we're changing, we're getting along better. That is what was going on outside. That's what people could see, that's what my husband could see, but inside wasn't matching up. So it was still like I was living in a state of deception, because with integrity, you do the right thing even when no one is looking. But I wasn't doing that. You know, I was in my heart, in my thoughts all the time. I was still feeling like I loved him. I felt like, oh, well, I'll just always love him. Like a piece of me will always love him. You know, I thought that was just normal, and that's what it was. So when I discovered this verse, and the Lord began to show me how dangerous what I was doing was, and how I wasn't living in integrity, and my worlds wasn't lining up, which that's not right either, because if you're going to come back and reconcile with your spouse, then you need to do it wholeheartedly. You really need to heal from your affair partner, like really learn how to let him go, really learn how to get past the breakthrough. Well, I wasn't doing that. But the dangerous part of that is not just, that he's in your heart. You think you're safe, because he's in your heart. The danger part is your thoughts feed your heart. So basically your thoughts control your emotions, and your emotions control your actions, because a lot of times we do something out of emotions. We live by emotions. We're driven by emotions. All of us haven't learned how to just, live by logic, and I definitely wasn't living by logic. So what was setting me up for failure by staying in this secret world was, one day if he would come back, I had kept him alive, and it would almost guarantee me giving back into him, because I kept all of that, how I felt about him, all of those, warm, fuzzy emotions, just the whole 9 yards. I kept all of that in my heart, and I kept him on a pedestal instead of putting him as a normal person. So I would have given back into him, or if he, would have approached me and things like that, because I was keeping that world alive in my heart. So it's very dangerous to do that. So that's why I put it in this video about the types of affairs and what you need to know, because it's important that if you are doing this, it's important to stop. If you need help stopping, I can definitely help you do that. And show you how I did it, because I did this for, I don't even want to say, let me just tell you, I did this for a while, okay? So maybe a couple of years, which sounds terrible. I can't even believe I put myself through that, but I did. So if you need help getting out, I can definitely do that, but please be aware of fantasies, because it still keeps you in that state of living that double life. Okay, so this video is getting long, but I hope you found this helpful, and if you have any questions, please leave them down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.